Welcome back to another episode of It's in the Details, the Big Brother edition. I am Damien.
And I'm Roger.
And as always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment wherever you get the show. Dude, let's go.
It was a crazy week.
Let's go.
Again.
Yeah.
Or a long week.
A long week. A lot of episodes.
A lot of shit. Yeah.
A lot of hours. So double eviction last week happens. Hannah won. She did some things. They got to the final six. It's a celebration. It's a celebration up in this piece. I'm looking at these people. Sorry, go ahead.
It was kind of nice to see. Like them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm studying faces.
Hugging each other, being like look, proud that they accomplished stuff. Like it was nice to see.
Yes, but I'm studying faces. And what I'm picking up is these people look relieved. They look relieved that they finally got it done. And you know why else? They don't really like each other that much. All six of them are not friends, and they're relieved to be getting rid of some of these people as soon as they can.
Do you think they will talk to each other outside the house? Like, you think they'll still be a close six? Or do you think they like in particular Derek F and Tiff? Like, are they gonna be texting each other? Are they gonna, are they gonna be friendly at events?
I think it's gonna be like high school, right? High school, you had some groups of friends, right? Yeah. Some of those friendships were tighter than others. And if you saw some of those people you didn't talk to, you'd still be civil, right?
Yeah.
But you're talking to two or three people. That's who you're talking to, right? Like if they threw a cookout anniversary party, everything would be fine, right?
Right.
But some people at that party would find out they're not in a group chat. You know what I mean? They're being left out of some group chats, right?
Yeah, right.
That's how I think that would go. But we got Hannah versus Kyland. We got a little spillover from the double eviction episode. Kyland is big mad that Hannah didn't put up Tiffany or Azah.
So we get the filling blanks during the commercial breaks of the last episode, and we get to see like how Kyland reacted to getting being put up and why and the reasoning and like all the little like the backstory between that live show that didn't have time to show. Mm-hmm. It was kind of interesting, like Kyland's thinking.
I think Kyland is scared because he's worried that these people might turn on him. That's what I think.
I get his reasoning. Like he's like, why did I go up? Why not? Yeah. What did he say? Why not Azah or
Tiffany? Azah or Tiffany, because they haven't gone up yet.
Right. And I get that reasoning.
Sure.
But
what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Right. But that's what he said too. He's like, what does it matter if they go up? They're not going home anyway. So why are we having this discussion, Kyland?
Right.
Right. And it goes back to him. It's like, I don't remember how old Kyland is, but he acts like a child. Because he does a bunch of selfish stuff, acts like it didn't happen, and then talks about how everybody else is selfish.
Right.
They're not a team player.
Right.
That's what he does. And I mean, I can't wait for this season to be over solely so I don't need to see him anymore. I'm over that dude, man. We got Tiffany trying to smooth everything over with everybody she sees, mostly the guys, but she's talking to everybody about how, look, I know you might have lost a little bit of trust in me. I went for that little power grab. She's talking to Xavier. Xavier's like, you did what you were supposed to do at the end of the day. You kept your word, right? Meanwhile, thinking, if I win this HOH, you're going up and out.
Your ass is going up.
Yeah. And if anybody that trusts me wins HOH, you're going up and out. Then we got some alliances forming. We got the Gentlemen, which is Kai and Xavier. And we got the Con Artists, which is Kai, Tiffany, and Hannah.
Right.
Do you care about either of these alliances? Do you trust either of these alliances at the time?
Like, like I wanted the Con Artist one to do well because Tiffany and Hannah are in it. And I feel like they're really good players and I wanted them to go and win, but I don't know why they kept wanting Kai to be involved after, like after
Who
everything that's happened. Like, why would you want? Why?
who else do they have?
I mean, I get it, but they hope too much on Kai. Like,
I agree with you. I'm just like,
yeah,
what else? Tiffany and Derek F have been fighting all season.
right,
Tiffany and Xavier have been having some scuffles lately. I think they
right,
both know they're the alphas.
right.
Kylan could say whatever
Like, I
he
don't know
wants.
why anyone would want to work with both Kai and X. Like,
Right.
personally, I feel like if anyone, it should, and this to me makes the most sense. It should be Azah and Derek F working with Tiffany and Hannah. It's two couples. Get to the final four. May the best man win because those two dudes are gonna
Yeah.
win if we don't stop them. At least
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't.
I
Um,
think I think Derek F just can't stand Tiffany. Can't
it'll
stand her.
cost them the game though. Like,
Yes. And we're gonna get to some of that later about
yeah,
the costing of the game.
yeah,
But I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
yeah,
Then we get to the head of household competition. Derek F may have found his competition. I'm sitting here watching, thinking, oh, he might have
yeah,
found it. He was in the lead, right? And
yeah,
then one of his eggs go right through one of the things he's supposed to knock down.
yeah.
Kylan starts to pick up his energy and then has the nerve to say, I wanted Derek F to win, but at some point you realize it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So he just goes ahead and knocks it out
Again,
himself.
I don't know why Kylan won this. If you see Derek F winning and you know that you guys are in the lines together, why not just give it to him? Like, the guy hasn't won anything. You can play next week. Derek F can't. Like, they're gonna take out Tiff. Like, I don't know why he's his own worst enemy, I think.
I hope so.
Kylan, like, he can't help himself. He can't help himself at all.
Yeah.
Everything you're supposed to do to help yourself, he's doing the opposite.
I think he's so focused on this resume. And I think he's hoping to sit down in front of people and go, I have 6 HOHs. Right? Like no one's ever had however many HOHs as I have. Right.
Right.
And I don't know if he has the clarity of mind to think people might not be seeing him in a good light. Because I don't think people are seeing him in a good light.
He's not very self-aware.
Yeah, I don't think so. He talks too much. He talks too much.
He talks too much, and I don't know if he realizes it.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no chance. So Kylan wins. We get Derek F sulking again, admitting that he thinks he's close. He was close. He thinks he's gonna need to win something in order to have a shot at winning.
Justify his argument.
Exactly.
Like I said last week.
Yeah. He at the same time.
I don't care who you can out talk. Like, if you got nothing to back it up, it's pointless.
Kyland ends up nominating Tiffany and Hannah.
Right.
And he says he's lost trust in Tiffany primarily. Okay. We get to the veto episode. Tiffany feels betrayed by Kyland, and Derek F is dancing. He can't be happier than what's going on right now. Kyland tells Hannah that he didn't see a world where Tiffany and Xavier could coexist, which outlines the fact that him and Xavier
are together.
Oh
yeah, I missed that.
Early, let's Hannah know. They give us a confession, a diary room from Hannah saying, oh, well, why would you be worried about that unless you had protection from somewhere else? She already knew. Hannah's smart enough to have already figured that out.
Hannah's really smart. Yeah.
Then we get to veto with the BB comics, the classic BB comics. Do you like the BB comics?
Yeah. I really like the Derek X's
his
Lord
comic?
of the Latrine. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. So
pretty
perfect.
Good. Derek F had to get up on that zip line. I can't be the only person who was wondering if he was going to make it across that zip line. I can't.
I mean, no, I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is going to break, right? Like,
either it's going to break or he's going to slip off those handles immediately.
Right.
And he immediately made me feel like an asshole because he looked fine. He looked perfectly fine.
Yeah, he looked good. Yeah.
He looked fine.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun watching Xavier struggle in the competition, talking about.
Was he?
You think he
Was he?
Do you think he threw it?
I think he's been throwing everything.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
100%.
he's the smartest. I think he's the smartest player in the sense that, like, why does he have to win?
Win when you need to. Only
Yeah.
win when you need to.
Yeah, make yourself less of a target and win when you need to. Like,
The only thing for me is he usually lets us know he's throwing it, right?
right.
And this time he was like, another competition where I look bad for my clients, right? So I was like, okay, maybe he didn't throw this one. I don't remember. I didn't write down the times. I don't think he was that far off. Tiffany timed out. Kyland wins again. Derek F finishes second, and has the nerve to talk about being a comp beast. He doesn't want to be seen as a threat because he's finished second twice in a row.
Oh my God. At the end of the game.
And,
when all the good people are already gone.
And didn't win anything. You
Right.
still finished second. Tiffany now knows she's got to go full damage control. She goes to Kyland. She's apologizing about power tripping.
It's too late.
Yeah, it seems like it's too late.
It's too late.
She goes to Xavier. She goes to Derek F. She's throwing everything at everybody.
Everybody. She ain't giving up, she said.
She even said,
which I like. I always hate the people that give up, right? Like I like that she has fight in her still. I mean, it's daunting, but
yeah, keep throwing stuff at people.
Yeah,
and she throws everything at Kyland.
Yeah,
you can use my votes. I'll veto you if I win the veto. I'll give up that 14-year-old son if you want him. Whatever you need, keep me in this house. She's just throwing everything at him.
Yeah,
doesn't work. He doesn't use the veto. We get to the double eviction episode. Kyland says to Tiffany, "You've lost trust not only from me, but from the rest of the house."
Right.
Do you think he's actually referring to anybody else, or he's just telling her? So him and Xavier. Derek F?
And Derek F.
Is that a loss of trust though? They never really got along.
That week where she should have not won, but did, and then didn't put Claire right away, it came back to bite her.
Yes.
Like if she hadn't done that, I think she wouldn't have been in as much danger. I think she could have convinced. Kylan may not have won that comp if that didn't happen, like to push him to make sure that they got Tiff out. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I don't know. I think that week really hurt her. I think it's obvious. Yeah.
I think I have this written down a little bit later, but I'm going to say it now. I think these people had to know, if you let Tiffany get to the end and Tiffany gets to tell a jury about the plan she concocted, I don't think there's any way anybody beats her. I don't think
yeah.
I don't think even Xavier. I don't care how many things you won. And by the way, Tiffany would have had 2 head of households back-to-back head of households if she got to jury too, right?
Yeah.
If you get to say, I constructed an 11-person plan in a 16-person house and got a 6 all the way to the end, I don't know how you beat her.
No, I agree. She was. I don't think. Okay, I take it back. I don't think it's only just that week that she screwed up, but
sure.
There's a combination of being vocal about her strategies and her ideas, and she made herself the best player in that group.
Yep.
And obviously they were gonna go for the best player when it came to the 6. So maybe she should have been a little bit more stealthier.
Yeah. It's an interesting interplay too, though, because you've got this person that came up with the master plan, right? Who then doesn't. I mean, she's listening. Yeah. She's listening to them, but they're like, "I got ideas too." Right. And she's like, "But your idea is not the idea." Right. So it's this constant conflict that they were in, it seems, for the whole season, right?
I find it funny that the 6-person major alliance, um, the first chance they got, they take out the creator,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's happened before
Yeah.
with the other major alliance that we talk about in Big Brother, the Brigade.
Yeah.
They took out Matt Hoffman,
Yeah.
the creator of that
Get
alliance.
him up out of here.
So like, I don't know, maybe it's one of these things that like, hey, if you're gonna start up an alliance in the house, be careful that they might end up taking you out.
But what do you do?
What? Honestly, you gotta play like Xavier, like X, like throw comms to make yourself seem less of a threat, and like quiet and sit back, and like let everybody else throw themselves under, and then at the last second pounce.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're just gonna jump ahead. There's a piece when Tiffany's talking to Julie and she's breaking down how she came up with the plan, right?
Right.
Her anxiety put her in both of these situations, right? She had this anxiety of sticking with these 6 people that she didn't necessarily like that much and not understanding how they could get all of them to the end. So she came up with a plan to get all of them to the end. Right. Which got them to the end, but also her letting everybody know she came up with this plan is the reason, part of the, I think a major reason why they know they can't keep her in the house.
Right.
So it's really something. And to go into that even a little bit further, we got Tiffany and Hannah talking about how they don't really feel like they got to play the game, right? Because for the majority of the game, you've got almost half the house that's off limits, right? You're developing these relationships with other people, and you like some of them way more than these people you're working with. But you got this mission, and they said they're happy. They said they're happy to be a part of history. But it's that
yeah,
point, right?
I wonder if Tiff's gonna leave the house. When Tiff leaves the house, years from now, maybe, or like months from now, will she go back and be like, I fucked up? Like, could I have done something different to get me the win?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's tricky. And the thing too is like they're definitely going to go down in Big Brother history, right? And personally, I think 10 years from now, if you think about this season, you're going to remember Tiffany, you're going to remember Hannah. Depending on who wins, you might remember them more than the winner, right?
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is if you told me we could get to this spot, right? And I'm happy that we got all these Black people here. Fine. This is what we planned on doing. If you then told me you could see in the future and you knew the Black person that was going to win was Kyland, I might have to say this Black thing might have to wait for another season, y'all. I can't, he can't be the one. I can handle almost anybody else winning.
Yeah.
Except for him. I'd be like, I'd scrap it. This sounds nice.
No, man. Derek
I'd
F
scrap
can't win either.
I can handle Derek F winning instead of Kyland.
No.
Let's live in a world somehow where Kyland and Azah get to, or Derek F and Azah get to the final. Let's just pretend, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Does Azah beat Derek F?
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Right? So then I'm like, I don't know how the two of them got to the final.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? But they're here now. So I can deal with that. Then my favorite part of the whole episode. Here we go. Xavier and Kyland are in the kitchen. Okay. And they're talking about a guy's trip to Vegas. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You got to take 5 guys from this house on a guy's trip to Vegas. Who are you picking? And they leave Derek F off. And Derek F is in the background.
In the background, in the living room, being like, is this really happening? Like, are you guys forget about me? What are you guys fucking crazy?
Oh, it was so hilarious. He's like, Brent? You might as well take a loaf of bread. I'm sorry, guy.
I was thinking of Brent being at home, being like, "Hey, what did I do?"
But for real, you've had your problems with Derek F. I'm over here like, if I was going on a trip to Vegas and I know Derek F, I'm taking Derek F. He's gonna complain a little bit. For sure, he's gonna complain, right? He might have to take the backseat to himself. Fine, right? But it's gonna be a party. He's always gonna be entertaining. And like they said, he would be the best wingman. There's no question he'd be the best wingman. There's no question. You look skeptical. There's no question. I think number one, if you have a gay friend, a gay male friend, automatically a good wingman. Okay. Especially if it's a flamboyant gay friend, right? If it's obvious your friend is gay.
Yeah.
They're going to pick up people for you left and right. There's no question. And he's fun. He's dancing. Big person.
He's sweating.
He's going to sweat through some shirts. He's going to sweat. Yeah. He's going to sweat through some shirts. Have you seen his skin? He takes care of himself. That is a metrosexual man. He takes care of himself. I've got faith in this. Okay. I got faith. We get to the jury house, right? We do a whole big long piece, like half an episode is about the jury house people. We get a whole recap.
Yeah, we get to see what Sarah Beth show up,
Claire,
Claire. Yeah, and they get to explain what happened.
Sarah Beth comes in. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I liked when they realized what happened to Claire.
Yes.
When they realized who took her out, they're like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah. But even before then, when Sarah Beth came in, she's like, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are working together.
She named it. Yeah.
And she goes, in my goodbye messages, all these people were talking about this personal mission. And Derek F or Derek X is sitting there like, what do you mean? What's the personal mission? He's so confused. And they go, because no one's ever won.
No African has ever won the game. And he's like, really?
They didn't say it, Doc. Brittany and Sarah Beth know what they mean, but they didn't even say it. They say to DX, no one's ever won. And he's like, what? They're like, no one's ever won. He's like,
he
really?
said something like, not even a woman. And he's like, no.
They're like, no. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, because Derek, I don't know if everybody knows, but Derek X is a recruit. He's never watched a season. He's never watched a season.
That makes sense to me.
So he doesn't know the history of Big Brother.
Exactly. Kudos to him even more on how he played, given he hasn't been watching, right?
But also it kind of makes sense, like the not whispering, people hearing you. Letting the cat out of the bag, who's going up, like those kind of make sense now. Like, we need
DX in an all-star season.
Yeah, maybe you can go back and watch some game tape, see what he did wrong.
Exactly, big time. But yeah, so they didn't want to say black. They eventually said black.
Yeah.
Alyssa or Claire shows up. Alyssa shows up. Everybody's like, oh my God, good for them. But you can see they're like, but maybe they shouldn't have done this. They're like, we would have taken some of them further than they're going to go.
Right.
And everybody looks uncomfortable.
Right.
Like they get it, but they're uncomfortable. Right. And we even get a great point by Alyssa. Alyssa says, I didn't really know that they were working together while I was in there with them, because they didn't really seem to like each other that much. Like they were always arguing and fighting.
Yeah.
And it's another great point of how they kept it concealed, even when they weren't trying to conceal it. Like
they never hung out with each other. Yeah. They always fought with each other. And
I do wonder if they had more friction because they couldn't get together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it's possible. It's possible. Yeah. Like they didn't really get to just chill together.
But it's also possible it could have gone the other way too, right?
Could have been worse.
Could have probably Derek F and Tiff would have gone. They would have had to buzz real early.
Yeah. They would have been heads. Yeah.
I think Derek F would have been taken out by then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so too. I think so too. He can't win. He can't win anything to protect himself.
Right.
So we get the votes. Votes go down 3-0. Tiffany, bye-bye.
Out of here.
Out of here.
Don't hit the door on your way out.
Exactly. Then we find out, she talks to Julie. I talked a little bit about what she talked to Julie about, but what we see in this episode is two people get evicted that were plugged into the game.
Yeah.
And when they talk to Julie, they give her their opinions on what they thought happened. And they also say, but I don't know. I'm not sure this could have happened. They could have cut side deals. It's the way you want people to talk when they get knocked out of the house, right? Then Julie tells everybody there's going to be a double eviction. And for me, this is the first time these 5 people look stressed out. The first time all season. So they start this head of household competition. They're knocking balls off of some AstroTurf on a skee ball ramp. Big Brother loves the skee ball ramp. Yeah, it was good.
I like this challenge. It was cool. Yeah.
But Azah wins. She pulls it out. I never thought Azah would win anything.
Yeah, she beat X.
And
he looked like he was trying.
I think he was.
I think he was. Yeah.
We find out when she's talking to Hannah that Kyland somewhere in the past week or so squeezed a deal out of Azah and got her to keep him safe. So all of that micromanaging and trying to cover every base he's been doing on the sneak tip has finally worked. Azah puts up Hannah and Xavier.
Right.
We go to veto. Kai beats X in a tiebreaker. And then he steps to the veto ceremony and uses it on Xavier.
So backing up a step, when Azah's talking to Hannah about what's going to happen, and Hannah's being like, by the way, Hannah's expressions during this conversation were like, she was like, this look of worry, like, no, like, you put me up, I'm gone.
She's looking at Azah like, you haven't thought this through.
Right. Because yeah, exactly. And you get this conversation where they start figuring out 2 scenarios that could happen.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that there's a third scenario. And this is where, in my opinion, this is where Azah loses the game, right? Because she does generally want to work with Hannah, but she also doesn't want to break her promises. Yeah. Also, why would those 2 people be working together? Like, it's the least scenario of those 3, but if it's a possibility, like, it could happen.
Yeah.
And then Hannah would definitely go home, and you would lose your shot at taking out a big player.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Like, how can you anticipate that the two strongest players are going to work together? Like, it's just, it's dumb. It's dumb on it's dumb on Kyland's point.
It's also interesting in the grand scheme of the whole season, because all those people that are sitting in the jury were constantly thinking it makes more sense for you to get rid of so-and-so.
Right.
And they're like, I can't understand why you're not getting rid of so-and-so. And this is it again.
Yeah. Kai is setting himself up to not win.
Azah has had a look. You talk about Derek F looking like he doesn't know he's playing a game. Right. And Azah's been looking the same way the whole season too. It's just like, they're both sitting around like, what do you mean there's cameras? We're on TV now? This is a game show? Who's on a game show? Us? No. It's like, yeah, lady, for lots of money. Wake up and start do something.
Lots of money.
Yeah. Hannah goes home 2-0. Again, a very thoughtful, measured conversation with Julie. And we got, like, with Kyland making that move to veto Xavier, they've declared their final 2.
Yeah. Not even final 2, but because I'm still not convinced.
Who do you think's going to cut the other one?
I think Kyland will take X to the end if he wins the final HOH.
Yeah.
I think I don't know who Derek F takes if he wins the final HOH. He's not going to win, by the way. Spoiler alert, he ain't winning.
Yeah.
But X, I think, is the most capable of realizing I can't take Kai to the end. right? Or I shouldn't. Not that I can't. I shouldn't. I think if X sits in the end, he wins against both of them. He wins. I think he has an easier road if he goes up against Derek F than he does against Kylan.
Yeah.
I only think this because we watched the show, right?
Yeah.
In their perspective, they should see that they're each a threat, and like, are they going to take each other, or are they going to battle out for the chance to take Derek F to the end?
I think this is one of those weird seasons of these type of reality shows.
Yeah.
These two guys have decided it's my pride and like it's the right thing to do to take this other strong guy competitor.
Right.
And they're going to sell all that garbage when they get there. And again, perfectly in line with the season where it's like, this isn't the best thing for you. Why are you doing it? And you're like, he's got a family he needs to take care of. So I'm bringing him regardless of the fact it might take all the money out of my wallet. They're like, this is just what we're going to do. I can see it happening. I agree. I don't know that's the smartest thing to do, but I can see it.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, they declare their final two, and it doesn't matter because they got 2 shots next week to get to the final 3. And I don't know how they lose.
And you could tell that the moment that he used the veto on X, they didn't give a fuck anymore because then at one point, I don't know if you saw, was it Kai was like, X, can we talk in the room over there? And then they come back together.
Doesn't
and
matter.
They're like
late.
Basically deciding.
Came back late.
Home. Yeah, they came back late. Like
doesn't matter.
Like now it's like whatever. Like we're in control now. Yeah.
Because they're gonna play ahead of household, right? It's likely one of the two of them is gonna win. Right. And then they're gonna play the veto, and the veto matters because the veto decides who goes home. Right. And one of the two of them is gonna win, most likely.
Right.
They're not easy competitions in the final 4.
No.
Right. So we'll see. Would I like to see it get shaken up a little bit? Kind of.
Azah should have put both X and Kai up. Like I
think so.
Who cares about deals at that point? Like it's just there's not enough maneuver. Like there's no room to maneuver. So like all that shit's out the window. At least for me. Like
she's been half.
It's all about who I can beat now. Who's gonna win? Like it's not about deals.
Awake, man. She's been.
I know. I get it.
She got startled awake when she won that head of household, and she's like, "Oh, I got to make decisions now."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I made a promise to this guy, and I made a promise to this guy, and we're just gonna roll with that."
That was her only.
They told me it'll be fine.
That was her only chance to win.
Yeah. At least she had the good sense to know when talking to Hannah that her only path to the finals was winning stuff. At least she had the good sense to know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I gotta win out. Okay, she realized it, but that's a terrible strategy to have.
It's awful. Like Hannah looked at her like, "That's your plan?"
Yeah, like
Hannah was sitting there like, "That's
if
your
you
plan?"
are depending on a win, like winning out, like it's the worst strategy.
Yeah,
because like the chances are highly against you. Yeah.
Also, if you're thinking your only way to win is winning out, you should have realized several weeks ago, I don't have enough allies.
Right.
If at some point with 5 or 6 people in the house, my only way to get there is winning out, I got to figure some shit out.
Right.
And if you let Kylan win, you're going to be upset with yourself. I promise.
He's not winning.
Promise.
X is going to be our winner. That's what I'm going to end off with.
Okay. So
the
Roger,
next Big Brother winner.
Roger picks X. I think I'm with him. Anyways, once again, thank you very much for joining us on It's in the Details, the Big Brother edition. As always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment wherever you get the show. Roger?
If you're looking for me on social medias, I'm at i6hitman on pretty much everything. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So if you're looking for me, find me there.
It's going to be a big week next week, y'all. Hopefully we get some twists and turns, but we get some big competitions. See you in a week.
Hopefully.
Take care.
See you guys.
Peace.